You are watching the number one podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juan.
And I'm your other host, Jean-Paul Leck.
And together we are
Raw Break.
And it is Tuesday morning, so it is time for you, all of you, to enjoy us talking about the Monday Night Raw. It wasn't a good show. It was just more 3 hours of insufferable misery. Not really like good development for what it is going to be Clash of Champions. You know, even the main event turns out to be, it was semi-good because like they got really intense. You know, Kid Lee kind of breaking more like this, his, we'll say the face side of him, kind of going into heelish. Drew McIntyre doesn't care. He's like, wants to protect his championship. But then what do we get, Jean-Paul? Retribution.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, what was the whole theme? In your face.
Raw in your face.
So they, everything was supposed to be just like real in your face, intense. And I would just say this show to me was overall just disappointing. We had the SmackDown Tag Team Champs going against the Raw Tag Team Champs. That match was, in my mind, it should have been legit. And it was, and then we got the ending, and it was awful. The Raw Women's Championship match was a letdown, but there was a reason for that. And the main event, the main event should have been good. And like you said, it ended in bullshit again. I'm seeing a theme here. A lot of these matches are ending in bullshit.
Yeah.
And then we had, to me, the underwhelming, I thought, steel cage match. It's like because I'm not excited to keep seeing the Mysterios and Rollins wrestle. So I'm hoping the end to this whole feud is coming sooner than later.
Hopefully, because like they've done every single match in the book possible between all Mysterio and Rollins and Murphy. Is like, I mean, I was enjoying it, but now it's like really like Rollins, every time that Rollins goes against Dominic, Rollins gets over. So why they keep doing this, But every time that like Dominic goes against Murphy, oh yeah, they get the win, So like it's just a little underwhelming for me. But don't forget, family, to watch every single one of the content that we have for you. Reviews of every single show in the wrestling business, and also sometimes we do interviews. We do like also like the news. Like I hope you guys enjoy that, because like we really enjoy doing the news. We like that just to like talk to every single one of you and just enjoy your company. So Jean-Paul, this show Michael Cole once again, Jean-Paul, and also with Dolph Ziggler. Let me tell me about this. What the heck? Like they keep switching the commentary team. Well, what's this about?
Oh, I mean, I guess they're. Well, they said a while ago they were doing something. They were letting people just take a week off. Like, I guess it's more than a week off now, because this is the second week without Tom Phillips, and they said Samoa Joe's off. Now, who knows? Maybe Samoa Joe is getting surgery for something that was injured, or he's getting it looked at, or like, who knows? I mean, I don't know the reasons they didn't say. Ziggler, I didn't mind on commentary. I know you were a little bit on him. I didn't mind it, but I mean, Michael Cole's Michael Cole, Byron Saxon's Byron Saxon. Half the time they're insufferable, and the other half I want them to shut up. So
it is absolutely the truth. But like the show opened up with like our WWE champion Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre came out and he was talking about how like he's kind of like not clear to wrestle yet, but he's been saying also that he developed the Claymore kick. Right, Jean-Paul? He's like, how I developed the Claymore kick when I almost fall, and I created like a kick. And
because he was like, when I was in 3MB, I was wearing them tight leather pants, and he's like, if I would have did the kick, it would have split, and we're Scottish, so we don't wear underpants, so that would have been good. Yeah. So he made the Claymore kick, and like you said, he's not clear to wrestle. He's talking about his jaw. He's like, and if they said if it gets hit the right way or the wrong way, however you want to look at it,
relinquish. He will have to drop the WWE Championship. We got a great picture right there, Jean-Paul, of all the people that had suffered the Claymore kick. And we get to see right there Brock Lesnar, Ziggler, Randy Orton, the person that we're talking about, also Big Show, Bobby Lashley, and Seth Rollins, Monday Night Raw Messiah. They all look like really done because of the Claymore kick. So like McIntyre is pretty much talking about like the match that they're gonna have at Clash of Champions. But then he says, Jean-Paul, like maybe we should do this. We should make it like an ambulance match. So I was like, okay, maybe, but maybe
not. So what is this? Is this supposed to be like a stretcher match? I would assume like you just you knock your guy out, you put him on the stretcher, put him in the back of the ambulance, and you win.
That's
to me, I'm like, I don't know why we need like a stipulation. You know what I mean? This is one of the most legit feuds on Monday Night Raw. They added Keith Lee to it, and it kind of made it a little bit only because it's like, where does Keith Lee factor into this? It doesn't really make any sense. Now they're actually kind of making sense with Keith Lee in the feud, but then they make this bullshit. And it's like, oh, okay, now it's all kind of, all the pieces are falling into place with these three. And now, and now they're making it shitty with the stipulation. You know what I mean? I don't know why are they trying to copy AEW and have every match be a stipulation? I don't get it.
It seems that way, but like, see, Adam Pearce came out. Like, see, Adam Pearce is becoming now like the general manager figure or like the authority figure in the show, and he said, well, you know, it seems like a good idea and everything, but you know, you're gonna have a match today. It was already announced. We talked about it. This was gonna be the main event. He was gonna be facing Keith Lee. So he says like Randy Orton might not be able to compete. He says like he's not ready yet. So we don't know. I'm not really sure if that's, you know, legit or storyline. But he said in the case of Randy Orton not being able to compete, then Keith Lee gets added to the championship match. So like that was for me, like, I don't know if it is too soon to have Keith Lee like that, but like, see, they're making this feud more special. What started as like a more like a friendly thing is like, oh, we're best friends, and that was like pretty much the theme of this whole feud. Oh, like, we're best friends, but we gotta fight each other. So you see a little bit of like, okay, well, maybe we don't need to be friends anymore. So I kind of like this, but like you said, I don't know why the stipulation added, like making it an ambulance match. Especially in a Clash of Champions that you don't need like themes or stipulations for every single match. But this I like. You know, like maybe like they really, like you said, they want to push Kid Lee to the moon. There you go. And maybe Randy Orton might be hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is the perfect way, especially because, you know, Drew was a little cocky in this promo, and you think, oh, is he maybe kind of turning heel a little bit? But you're like, no, he's just the confident champion. And then Keith Lee comes out, and his demeanor's a little different, too. So it's like, okay, now you're interested. You know, they do the handshake, and as the one goes to walk away, they pull him closer, and they're like, Like, you know what I mean? They're like, no.
Relax, Paul. Relax, Paul. Yeah, so it was good. So this is a good opening of the show. I received McIntyre, like you said. His promo ability has improved a lot. So like he's able to get me excited. He's able to deliver good stuff. And Kid Lee, the one thing is, like you said, is talking now as a heel, but also very eloquent, very very eloquent. Like, you know, as we keep moving along in the show, like he kept like all the promos is like very very paid. Like he could take his time, peaceful. It's good. It's good. So it was good opening for Monday Night Raw. At least I had a little bit of hope.
Yeah, exactly.
at that point. But now is when everything goes to shit. Right there. Champion versus champion, Raw and SmackDown, Nakamura, Cesaro against the Street Profits. This match was for the most part good, but I don't think that the right winner got the match. At least for me. Because, I don't know, like, you know, Cesaro and Nakamura, like, they deserve this because out of the two teams, the newest one are them. So, like, for me, it will be like, hey, kind of like an upset or like a screwy finish for them to get the win. But at least, hey, we're better than the Raw Tag Team Champions. Now it's like, why go back to my show? And, you know, I feel like a freaking loser. I don't care. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, especially last week when you saw the Street Profits, you know, they kind of fucked over. Or not last week. Well, I guess technically on SmackDown. They screwed them over, and now it's like, oh, you know, this was supposed to be their payback. You know, if you want to set something up, because they said, oh, you know, these guys, there's all the titles are supposed to be defended at Clash of Champions, but I didn't see no tag team matchups set up for that show. So I feel like we're going to see this rematch again for, you know, whatever reason, but. You know, to have the Street Profits go over twice, you could kind of say, you know, they screwed them, and then the Nakamura and Cesaro didn't get their revenge here. That pretty much buries the SmackDown team, in my opinion.
And then that's my point. Exactly right. That's why I don't like it, because you're just burying your SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and I don't understand why is that.
You know what's painful for me when I watch this? I always say, like, I like Montez Ford. He's good. He's, you know, extremely athletic, and obviously I love Cesaro and Nakamura. But, like, when he makes the hot tag to Angelo Dawkins, and Angelo Dawkins takes out both Cesaro and Nakamura, I'm like, how does anybody believe this?
That's what I mean.
Like, how, okay, so a small child, whatever, their imagination is their own. But any, like, adult wrestling fan that knows literally anything, how do you watch this and go, yeah, I can believe that?
Yes, and my thing, again, is, like, outside of that, it's a great point, though. It's a great point, because it's like, really? You know, it's like really like he can take.
It's not like he tagged in
wrestlers in the company.
Yeah, it's not like he tagged in Braun Strowman or somebody who's like huge, and it's like, oh, okay, I can see that guy's fucking some people up. No, it's Angelo Dawkins. He looks like he should be in line at Arby's getting a new Angus sandwich.
Yes, and that's what I mean. So like he just not fit for me. He will suffer from the genetic syndrome. I can tell you that much because like you said it ever since we started doing the show. Montez Ford is the guy with the money, and if you guys don't believe, go see Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. What are they going to do with Billie Kay? They have no plans for her.
Done.
There you go. So like this is going to happen to Angelo Dawkins when they decide to split him up. So right there, pretty much like he actually gets the win. And like even
he hits the frog splash. Well, yeah,
he did. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he hit the frog splash, which to me I was like, okay, that's not even his finish. Is he gonna like pin Cesaro? And Cesaro 1, 2, 3, and like you said, after all that legit offense they put on these guys, the uppercuts, and he did the Cesaro swing, and then Nakamura came in with the knee. I mean, they beat the hell out of these guys, and then that's the finish. It was just extremely underwhelming, ending to this match, which I thought was pretty good.
Oh yeah, well, like the match itself, like like Street Profits as a team, yes, but like I don't believe that they should have won because again, you said it, Clash of Champions is going to be the pay-per-view. If you want to give them the win, do that over there. Don't do that on a Monday Night Raw because actually, if this SmackDown champions win, then you can start telling a story. Hey, we beat you guys. How about if you put those titles and we can be double champions? Because nowadays they like to be. Ever since Becky Lynch, they want to like have every single guy to have the 2 championships. Why don't they do that? No, they have to have like the Street Profits. So what story you give me up to that? Nothing. You leave me with nothing. That's pretty common in WWE nowadays, Jean Paul. And we'll see what they do once they move to SmackDown. But now we're gonna go to a promo by Angel Garza. Angel Garza, Jean Paul talking to Lana. They're really pushing that agenda of Angel Garza being the Latin lover. I think that, to a point, it's good. But also, like, I don't know if this is going to be the only shtick that he has. So I'm not really sold into this, but like I kind of like it a little bit. Not too much.
We'll see. I think it's going to be the evolution of Eddie. It'll be the same thing. Eventually, somebody will be a hold of him creatively and be like, this guy's way too good to just be hitting on every chick. We got to push him legit.
Yes.
But for now, he's just going to be like you said. Hey, Mamacita, I see. Miro is on AEW. Now it's just me. Bobby Lashley divorced you apparently. So hey.
Well, and that's how cool like WWE dropped the angles. No explanation. The loopholes right there. Those missing pieces. That like we get every single week because pretty much. Oh yeah, did he divorce her? We don't know. No, we don't know. But like that's what we got. And then right away, this is what I mean. Like Selena, this is what I mean. You're just flirting with people. You just want to bang. You just want, to like get the goods out of the women, and instead of like focusing on like our tag team, focusing on like getting the Raw Tag Team Championships. And Andrade also goes to him and is like, "Oh, we lost because of you." And I'll say this, very quickly: when they do these promos in English, it comes out really bad, especially Andrade. They had to at some point switch to the Spanish side because it looks more believable. They just do it like that. Do it like that.
It would be fine if Zelina is talking to him in English, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah blah," like whatever. And then when Andrade, that should all be in Spanish because they could just be yelling at each other, and like we'll understand what they're saying just from the tone of their voice. Like, oh, they're pissed. He's yelling at him, and you can tell he's probably saying along the same thing as Zelina said. So I agree with you, especially Andrade. His English just isn't good, and it's hard to even understand what he's saying.
Yeah,
so you might as well speak in Spanish.
Yeah, and to talk in these situations where you're pissed, where you're supposed to like be like trying to get the words out of it quicker. I don't know if that's a great idea to do that with Andrade, but that's what they have. They started to feud a little bit, so we kind of see that like that's going to be the feud that Jean Paul actually has a lot of like 2 or 3 months ago. It says, "Why don't you guys feud them?" There you go. Yeah. Right there, Jean Paul. Thanks to you. There you go. They're feuding.
Well, they started this tension when Andrade was still the U.S. champ. I said that should be the United States Championship program. And then here we are. Now it's on Bobby Lashley, which is fine on Lashley, but look how long ago that was.
Yes, of course, Jean Paul, we got to get a pick of the Mysterios because pretty much they live in Monday Night Raw now. They live in the Thunderdome. They got kicked out of their house, and now all of them live in the Thunderdome. And, we'll see tonight, still cage match against Seth Rollins, so everybody's there. This was, we'll get to there in a little bit, but this was actually not bad. Only the winner bothered me. But now, Jean Paul, let's go to the hurt business, because they love to hurt people. This is good. We got to see finally the explanation from Cedric Alexander. Because it's their newest, now finally confirmed that he's the newest addition of the Hurt Business. And he says, Jean Paul, that like his Twitter account, his Instagram can be blown up with like people saying, why Cedric, why? He's like, I don't need to give you an explanation. I got tired, and I love the promo. I love the reasoning behind it. It's like, hey, every time I wanted to be a winner, I wanted to like get over, I wanted to like go ahead in the business, and now I'll get kicked, I'll get my ass kicked, and then the next day I don't even have time to play with my kids, or I don't want to play with my kids because I'm hurt from the day before. And that doesn't lead me to anything. So I like that. I like that reasoning. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I like it. It's one of those like a shoot work promo. Like part of it's shoot because he's like, hey, like I was just getting my ass kicked doing nothing for the past how many months, being babyface, and now I turn heel, and now I'm with this, established group that's, I would say, getting more over and over every week. So it was legit because why we want to see this guy succeed. We all thought he was good, coming out of the cruiserweight tournament, cruiserweight champion. And then he kind of just became bullshit. They had a tag team with Ricochet, did absolutely nothing with it. And, I think him turning heel is great. Like, you have the picture here, Apollo and Ricochet, they came out. They were kind of talking shit, trying to be like, we don't care why you did it. We understand, blah, blah, blah. But, you're still going to get your ass beat for it.
Yeah.
Like, if you,
like,
so I kind of
like that too. I kind of like this because, like, we don't give a fuck, We don't give a shit. Like, if you just, if you don't want to be with us, but at least, like, if you thought that, like, the beat-ups were bad, just get ready for the next beat-up. But, like, see, the one thing is, like, 2 against 4, really? That's, like, at least get another 2 guys. I mean, like, Eric came out later on, but still, I kind of didn't like that too much. But see, the match between these two, like you said, you love Prince Puma. Ricochet is absolutely great. But absolutely mishandled by WWE. This guy even has a great theme song. They took away the lasers, they took away everything that made the guy special, and now he just does pretty generic. But like the match along, it was really good. I like this picture, Jean Paul, right there, when like actually Ricochet has the upper hand. But then you see like MVP going like, hey, he's kicking your ass, so make sure you win. Get it together. Kind of like MVP being like the coach, like the main man, like kind of like being the strategized, like everything. I really like that. So it was good. I really like this match.
This match is fantastic. Like you said, Ricochet's a hell of a wrestler, and that everything you just said about the lasers and everything, that goes back to what we report on the news when CM Punk was like, I don't think any wrestler in WWE will be a megastar because they don't know, and like Jake Roberts, these guys don't know how to get over and everything. But look what WWE does. They took all the things that were getting Ricochet over in NXT. They took it away from him.
Oh, yeah. Exactly what you said. It's like, it's not only their fault. It's also WWE's fault.
But this match was This match was fantastic. These guys have so much chemistry. I love just the ending. You said Ricochet had the upper hand. You think it's okay. He's going to win this thing. Maybe the Hurt Business regrets recruiting Cedric. He comes back. He hits that lumbar check, and that's why I love Ricochet. I think he's the best seller in WWE. Some people say Johnny Gargano. Some say Dolph Ziggler. Ricochet sold that lumbar check like it legit broke his back.
Oh, no. The lumbar check was absolutely amazing. Like, when he sells it, he bounced back.
Yep.
He bounced back. It was so freaking cool. I don't have anything to say about, like, he sold that like nobody. I will tell you that much. Like, he sold like nobody. And in the end, at least he gets the win. So that's good. Like, we got it right there. See, like you said, like the lumber check, like I really like how Ricochet sells things. Now, before Ricochet, I would say it was Dolph Ziggler, but now Ricochet is the best. I would definitely like go along you because at least they needed to give him the win. Why? Because so it's credible. But like, see, once as he's celebrating for that, we get to see this jump up. The Retribution one more time. They get like their own like thing. It's cool to see this. I am really liking like how like they use the Thunderdome and the effects to kind of give them like a really legit entrance. And they actually talk jump on. They actually had a promo, and now at least we know who they are. Most of them. There you go. Right there, you can see to your right, Dijakovic is absolutely like that's the one guy.
Yeah,
There's no way that
obviously, like the 7 foot tall guy's Dijakovic.
yeah, Dijakovic, we got to see Mercedes Martinez, like you said, is right there, like as one of the girls. She's the one that spoke first, and she pretty much they said that they want retribution. They've been like sidelining, they've been under what is it under check or like they've been under appreciated for the
Mm-hmm.
longest time. The other girl is Mia Yim, they said, and the other one is Dio Madden, and the other one is Kevin Thorne. I'm pretty sure. So like they said, all the the main five is this guys. And
Okay.
Mercedes Martinez was kicked out of the Robert Stone brand when she lost to Rhea Ripley on Tuesday or Super Tuesday 2. So like it makes total sense, and I really like this. The one thing is just like you said, the Raw exclusive. I would much rather like to see in both shows because since there's a Rebel team, right, that
Mhm.
means that they can be whatever.
Yeah,
Tell me your thoughts.
I was just, with them being on Raw, I don't like that as much, but I feel like they were just kind of doing the same thing on SmackDown as they were on Raw, and there was no direction for them. Now maybe there's hopefully a little bit of a direction. We saw kind of at the ending, when we saw them do something with the Hurt Business. Maybe we'll see a feud or something with that. I don't know. That would be kind of cool, but with Mia Yim being in this, because, it's all but confirmed. That maybe was something with Keith Lee. Maybe he joins them and is their leader because, there's Dijakovic there too. I know they, again, no, not to jump ahead, attacked in the main event, but, it could all be a swerve. Oh, yeah, we're just,
It could be something really good, and I really like that. So we'll see. I mean, also like the one thing is like we've said this many times, WWE is trying to help out couples to stay together because of like they feel that like there's a kind of way to like keep them happy. They feel, and that's why they do this with Keith Lee. So now they're gonna do it for Mia Yim. So they stay together, so they don't split up. And so I split up because of the schedule. I'm single, all of that. So I think that's good. And see, Mercedes Martinez is a good addition, I think. But Dijakovic, I feel that like is a big break that he could have. Dio Madden, he had to leave like the commentary booth to just join this. He wants to be a wrestler again. It's a good opportunity. I'm liking this. I don't mind it. Like I said, I hope that like the only thing is like if it is a Rebel team, they should be in every single show destroying everything. They should be on NXT. Just to like, hey, we're gonna mess everything. But it's good regardless. So promo by Mickie James. You have like probably one of the last opportunities to become the Raw Women's Champion, and she acknowledges that. So she's pretty much saying that she's gonna go and give it all. Give it all because it's like I haven't had gold in such a long time. If you ask me, it's almost 10 years. Because the last time that she was the Raw Women's Champion or the Divas Champion at that time, it was like January 31st of 2010. So she's pretty much excited and says, hey, when I came back, I didn't know I was going to get a title shot. I just got a title shot. I'm going to make the best out of it, Jean Paul. And there you go. Mickie James against Asuka. This was a really good match. I was loving this. Mickey's intensity, you could see that she was actually fighting for a championship. You could see that she wanted to win. Asuka, to me, actually didn't look that well today. Or yesterday. She didn't look that good. I don't know because it was Mickey's more, like she was more intense than Asuka. But aside of that, very good match with a pretty confusing ending for me, Jean Paul. But there you go, see? Legit stuff. Did you like it?
And I mean, the match, it was good. Like you said, I wasn't, Mickie James. Is always good to see her. So I think that's why I enjoyed it because she's one of the few legit women, on this brand. With Becky Lynch and Charlotte and all them gone. So that was good to see. And with Asuka, maybe it's because like we said, the ending was a little confusing. I guess we'll just go to the ending so I can go back. She kind of had her in the Asuka lock, and the ref was like, "Oh no, it's done, it's done." Like as soon as she kind of rolled her over, it was like, "Oh, it's done." And I thought he was going to say that Mickie James won because technically Asuka's shoulders were on the mat the whole time.
I thought the same thing. Yes.
And then they were like, "Oh, Mickie." He's like, "Oh, she gave up." And the look on her face, she looked really like she wasn't there. Kind of like Matt Hardy taking a power bomb onto the concrete floor. Yes, it was like you think, oh, maybe she got concussed, and then people go back because a lot of people, they have the gifs and the little video clips and everything. And when Asuka kicked Mickie James in the head, it looked like she really, hit her in the head. But there was a time in the match too where Mickie James had her in the ropes, and do you remember that where Asuka went for the hip attack and she got in the ropes, and then Mickie James kicked her right in the jaw? I mean, that was a kick to the jaw. So I mean, these women,
they tried that for at least 4 times during the match. Yes.
Yeah. So these women really went after each other. Like you said, it was intense, but maybe Asuka toned down the intensity after that kick because she's a veteran. I'm sure she knows when somebody has a concussion. But it's like if Mickie's coming at you, you're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna keep wrestling. You know what I mean? So it's like, but then maybe towards the end of this thing, the ref saw she was done. And who even knows if Mickie was like, who knows what he saw versus what we saw. So, especially with after Matt Hardy, as WWE isn't going to want that bad PR. They're going to call the match off. Hopefully, Mickie gets another title opportunity because they were saying, it could be the last. And if this is the last, it's, disappointing for her.
It is disappointing, yes, because even like Trish Stratus sent a tweet saying that, I support you, you got this, baby, it's going to be good, just do your thing, you know what you're doing, you're a 6-time champion, and, like, she looks good, like you said, many people, even Glenn Davidson, we're going to shout him out, he said at 41, like you said it also to the text, 41, she looks better than the whole women's roster. Mickie James is just, like, one of the greatest, like, athletes, I would say, and I will not mind if she gets another title run.
She needs to. You could easily put her on SmackDown, and I mean that would have been something cool to take it from Bayley because it would have been somebody legit because there is no one besides Sasha.
Yeah, so I don't know if they will do it. Like you said, it's a confusing ending. But after that, Jean Paul, Selena Vega comes out. Selena Vega comes out and she cuts like a really good promo on Asuka. She said, "Hey, like you've been giving opportunities to people that they're already like done, like older past generations. What about the newer generations? What about me, Asuka?" So I really like this, and she said I realized that I wasted the best years of my career, supporting tags, managing people, but clearly I haven't done anything with my career. So she slapped her. It was good. Asuka kind of went in on the Japanese. She got intense, excited. So we're starting to see that like it might turn into a championship feud. So this is good. Well, they push new women, at least for me.
Yeah, there were rumors that, Natalya was going to be the match for Asuka at Clash of Champions, which that would have been a throwaway match because nobody believed that. But here, if they're going to do Zelina Vega, I know there's not too many weeks to build this thing, but it's at least an intriguing matchup because this would be the first, like, really prominent singles, feud that she had. But the only thing that is kind of like is the last couple of times we saw her wrestle, it was against Bianca Belair, whether it's in singles or tag or what have you, and she kind of got her ass kicked.
Yes.
So she doesn't look
Yes.
So if you go back and look at her previous track record, it doesn't look very good. But the intensities here and the one little nugget, and not Owen Hart, but the one little nugget I picked up here is when she was like, I'm pretty much done with like tag teams and managing bullshit people and this and that. So I wonder if Andrade and Garza are done and they're just going to start the feud.
Yeah,
I wonder if we're not going to...
I mean, is the Andrade should have never, like, start to talk in English. Andrade should always stay like he was on NXT. Kind of like the guy that, like, Selena will translate for him. Remember those promos? Remember those interactions? That when Selena was the mouthpiece and Andrade will just say, like, 2 or 3 things in Spanish and that was it. But also Andrade should have been focused, like you said, United States champion, maybe WWE champion contendership, doing all those things.
Yeah, if you ask me, they should never have been a tag team. These two guys are single
stars.
They
should have never. The whole thing with Austin Theory also, it was just bad. It was just all of that was like bad because what made the magic, the dynamic duo was Selena and Andrade. Because guys, at least his English is not that bad. He can actually talk, so it's fine. But and also guys that had his spot in the cruiserweights. And then move up a little bit, progressively. Now they just rushed it. Now nobody cares about it. So that's the one thing. And but I'm looking forward to see Selena in different matchups. I think that they're trying to do this because if you think about it, Jey Uso is different, and now Selena. So like they're doing 2 different people that never would have
exactly. Which it might not be the what we want, but at least it makes it intriguing.
And it makes it better because why do we always say also new matchups? Like remember SmackDown 2016, the land of opportunity. There you go. 2 opportunities, and then the one that I'm really invested is in Selena. Because I remember her days on Impact, legit wrestler. I just decided to manage people, but she's a really good wrestler. So Jean Paul, there you go. Keith Lee, Lucius talking about like what is going to be happening in the match with Drew McIntyre, and he's saying, hey, I gotta do what I gotta do to be on Raw and to be the WWE champion. Says so many people like waste all their careers, or they go through all their careers trying to get a championship match. And look at me, 3 weeks in, and I'm already in with the chance of having like a WWE title shot. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I do what I must, right, Jean Paul?
Yeah, I love that line when he's like, am I gonna hurt my friend and take advantage of his, wired jaw? He's like, no, I'm not gonna take advantage of my friend, but if I have an opportunity to challenge for the WWE Championship, I'll do what I must. So that plants the seeds. That to me was like legit. I wish there'd be a little more fire and intensity, and I feel like this is like a bomb. He's going to explode, and then we will see that fire and intensity. I don't think he's going to be calm, Mr. Rogers, his whole main roster run. I think this is building for when the heel turn happens, but I think it's happening. And to me, a lot of people, they love Keith Lee. It's like, oh, why turn him heel? Why not? He was a babyface his entire NXT run. We're all still following him from NXT. This is the next chapter of his career. Turn him heel.
Absolutely. So now Jean Paul, we just go like a really quickie match, like 2 seconds. It was Bobby Lashley against Eric. That was done. 3 seconds.
It was like
Nelson
and done.
And done. So and that's what we're going to talk about. 3 seconds and done. So pretty much that's what it was, Jean Paul. I don't know what they really have feud in them. With
this was just to be like, hey, look at our United States Championship. He's a monster. I agree. Let's showcase him. To me, if the title wasn't on Drew, I think he would have been WWE champion. But they have too much stock in Drew. They're like, Bobby Lashley, it's coming, just not right now. But
yes.
I mean, Eric, we were talking about who's the Genettis. Boom, he's the Genetti.
He might be suffering from that.
3 seconds and done.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what we got to talk about. So Jean Paul, really good promo by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, even with mentioning Hot Topic, right? When we got the
he's like, oh yeah, I don't know why he's pissed off. At first it was jokey. He's like, oh, at Hot Topic, maybe they didn't have the obscure band T-shirt that he likes. That they just scream into the microphone. He's like, or maybe it's because he sat in a closet for a year and a half. Asking people to fight him, but nobody gave a shit enough about him to actually come pick a fight with him. And that's when I was like, okay, now we're getting into the legitness. Kevin Owens, hey, you might not like him. He might not be your cup of tea. But when the dude gets on the mic, people listen.
Oh, Kevin Owens is good on that. He's good all around. He's like all around.
Oh, I agree. But,
I'm not saying about weight.
You see hate, yeah.
As a whole package, he's good. Yeah. The only thing, like you always say, they put him in stupid stuff.
Yeah, that or they push him and he's like right here, like, oh, if he's if he goes any higher, he'll be champion. He's right here, and then they let him calm down.
Yeah, it's like, oh, like I think creative is like, oh, he's getting way too high, put him down.
Yep, exactly. It's like
and then we get to see it's like he goes to Hot Topic, oh, it's close. Right there, that's the face when you go to Hot Topic.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that that look is legit. I wish he would wrestle with like one eye covered. And not take like the bandana overall, like off his one eye.
I'm like, what's the point, But anyway, Jean Paul, let's go to something that is kind of overwhelming for Jean Paul, and that was like Seth Rollins and Dominic Mysterio and going in a steel cage match. See, at least the match overall, I will say is good. But see, Seth is really, good carrying Dominic. Dominic is getting better every single week. Remember, I don't know if you saw, there was a Twitter video. Somebody posted that actually, because of the Thunderdome, there's a lot of noise. But regardless of that, you can actually hear what the wrestlers are saying. And Seth Rollins was like, yeah, come over here, buddy. Over here. And then he goes, frog splash in the match of SummerSlam. You can hear clearly how he's like guiding him. He's like, frog splash, go to the ropes. Okay, lay on me, like that. So it was good, but regardless of that, I think that like Rollins is a really good teacher for what Dominic can become. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, Dominic is one of those things where, at some point he'll be almost as talented as his father. I won't ever say he'll be better than Rey Mysterio because, that has to be seen. You can't just, say that. But I think he'll be good. And the one thing that I think Vince McMahon is loving is how he's like 6 feet tall. Or close to it. It's like, oh, he has the luchador stuff in him. And the people love that. He's a teen heartthrob for the girls. So that brings in, new viewers. Yeah. And, he's tall. So Vince is loving it. And he has the perfect teachers with his father. Buddy Murphy's a hell of a wrestler. Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers, in professional wrestling. Maybe he might not portray it in his character all the time, but when the bell rings, he can go. And this match wasn't bad. It's just, we've seen these guys go at each other every week in some, form or another, whether it's promos or whether it's Buddy Murphy or, Rey Mysterio or somebody. And it's like, okay, you had the steel cage match. Now, like, what's next? The only thing I said for you is because, who was the winner here? Like you said, you didn't like the winner was Rollins. So where do you go from here? You're gonna have to do Rey Mysterio and I think in Hell in a Cell. So Rey versus Seth, and then what? Does Rey win? So then who benefits from this whole feud? The old man? Which no offense, I love Rey Mysterio, but it's like, to me the feud only would make sense is if you do Hell in a Cell or something between Dominic and Seth, and that's when Murphy turns on Rollins. Because we saw, Murphy tried to help him with the kendo stick, but then, the baby faces got it, and then they were using it against Rollins, and then, then after the match, he's like, "Oh, Murphy, I won, so it's still legit." But then he beat the shit out of him anyway. So
just before that, Jean Paul, I see we also got another promo. See, this is a little bit overdone for me. Like I said, they live in Monday Night Raw right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like this too much because they gotta interview him, oh, you're gonna have a match. Oh my god, and everybody has to be there. We're gonna be ringside. Is they don't have anything else to do. I mean, and then we got to see this, Jean Paul. Did you like this intensity though? Seth Rollins going up to Buddy Murphy is he beat him. He went up to his face. They almost make out. But he's don't screw my matches again. You stay in the back.
I mean, I liked it, but then when we saw Murphy came out, he was all so to me that he's like a bitch, like if he yells at you like that, you got to turn on him. I mean, I think they're going for that. I don't think they're going to make him like the little bitch boy, the little cuck who's like, okay, master, okay. No, I think he's eventually going to be enough's enough.
Yes.
And it's going to be Murphy's Law and done. But, like I said, you got to do it the next major match that Rollins has with the Mysterios. You can't be prolonging this because I already, what did we say a couple weeks ago? This is the best feud. But now Seth Rollins wins 2 major matches in a row. And it's okay.
This is at least you said, you see he's gonna turn. Mm-hmm. There's no other way for this to get over by turning. You gotta turn Buddy Murphy against Seth Rollins.
Yeah, because then that's a way out of it for everybody. Then Dominic can get a win. Then he looks legit. He moves on to maybe Andrade or somebody who's a singles heel now, and then you go Rollins and Murphy's the next feud.
Yes, absolutely.
So everybody can move on.
Yeah, and like you said, this match overall, like you said, really, really good. I like you. I like the spot with the superplex and Falcon Arrow, but like you said, everybody kicks out of that. It's just it became now a spot. The superplex should have been a move that it was just a finishing move or at least a devastating move. But now everybody kicks out of it, even Dominic. So it's you do such a beautiful move, but yet it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, or they kick out of it, and then 10 seconds later, not even, they're on their feet doing a crazy, move, and it's oh, you're not going to sell that 15-foot fall, into the middle of the ring, but I guess it's I don't know. It's modern wrestling. Either we accept it or
and that's the right way to look at it. And he got 2 curb stomps, and that's what it is. Pretty much, he got the win, and then he was looking at everybody, and then he goes to Angie, to Rey Mysterio's wife, and he's hey, look what he done. And he talking about Buddy Murphy because he actually beat him, like you said. You were saying he beat him. Also, he beat Buddy Murphy because Murphy actually almost cost him the match because he whacked him with the door with the cell.
Yeah, and see, I don't know what you thought at that moment, but see, this is where I thought, okay, Dominic's gonna win here, so then it won't be clean on Seth Rollins' record. It's he got kind of screwed over accidentally by Murphy, and then this would kickstart their feud. But when Rollins won, I was like, why are they continuing this? Just end it.
Oh yeah,
this would have been the perfect spot to end it.
Oh yeah, no, but they're not gonna do that, Jean Paul, and I pretty much see it right there. He's talking to him, he's do something better with him, talking about Buddy Murphy, and then you see the tease, Jean Paul, very subtle tease of Aaliyah, Rey Mysterio's daughter, kind of checking out on Buddy Murphy. So that might be a new angle right there, a romance, something that might happen.
Well, no, I don't like Buddy Murphy. No, I'm just kidding. No,
then it's done.
Yeah, no. Then I want Rollins to kick his ass. No. But this is cool, and I don't know if it is necessarily going to be a romance thing, but at least it's something where it's okay, she's obviously the young innocent girl in this, so if she goes to check on him, Buddy Murphy might not be all bad, right? He deserves some sympathy, so it's maybe he's turning babyface. That's kind of how I see it, and I think that would be cool, and it's the right way to go. And then
we're checking out on Dominic, but that's pretty much this feud. Like you said, hopefully it ends. It needs to just happen. I mean, it's great, but I don't think that they can keep prolonging this. We got a very small promo by Mandy Rose. She's on Monday Night Raw. We actually talk about that in our video of the weekly news. So they're gonna make Mandy Night Raw. That's what it is. Not Monday Night Raw. It's Mandy Night Raw. So they were kind of pumping her up. And this is the stuff that Jean Paul loved because it's
I wonder if Otis gets Mandy at Night Raw. I mean Mandy Night Raw.
Yes, yeah. I mean Otis gets that every single night.
Oh,
in the WWE world. And then Jean Paul loved this because at 10:07, it's not 10 anymore on the dot. And Braun Strowman, he wants to get in and Raw Underground. So like you said, this time he looked better, and actually he looked like he fit in this type of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
He felt like he's an underground wrestler, so he's gonna beat people up, and like he still looks like Matt Hardy. For some reason, like he has the Matt Hardy look, but I really like this. What do you think?
And what did he say? He didn't come down here and be like, "Oh, I'm the monster among men. Get these hands." No, he's like, "I'm fucking pissed. I know I can kick somebody's ass in here. Let me in the door. I'm about to kick somebody's ass, rip someone in half." And they're like, "All right, let him in." Raw Underground. It's not exclusive. Anybody in WWE can come here and fight. So he went in, and this is the perfect thing for him. Braun Strowman can't wrestle. Okay, he does the power slam. Okay, it looks legit. Anybody who's big and strong can do a power slam, but he can't wrestle. But the one thing he can do is you can make him look like he's kicking somebody's ass because he's huge. So this is the perfect environment for him. We saw him in a couple segments, Raw Underground. He looked good. Daba Kato next week is the big money match that they're pushing.
We had Jean-Paul. We had Dolph Ziggler.
And Riddick Moss.
He won against Rick Moss. They had a decent stuff, and we saw Titles, because Titles, like, he was all fired up. He's like, "Let me in, man. Let me in, man."
There he is.
I got it, man. And he's like, "Oh."
And then what happened? I think Strowman choked him out in 3 seconds. It was
Strowman took care of Ziggler. He took care of Rick Moss. He took care of all of them. And of course he took care of Titus. So Titus is also done right there. Done.
But this is to me. I mean, it's I'd rather see him here. Because this environment, he looks a hell of a lot more believable than he does, in the wrestling ring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was just funny, let me in, man. I got it, man.
Oh, yeah. That's hey, Titus, at least he's a good sport about it. To be like, oh, yeah, to be fired up like you're going to be legit and then go in there and lose in 10 seconds. He's like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. Like I said, Dolph Ziggler. But in the end, we had, like you said, the bigs, after he's down, we got the big stare down. With Baba Ganoush, with Daba Kato, right there. See two powerhouses. Look at these monsters. And Shane McMahon said, "No, we don't have time for this anymore. It's already 10."
I love it. Look at the white shoes. That's legit.
Oh yeah. Shane McMahon. I mean, he could get overbearing at times, but aside of that, he was always legit.
Oh yeah.
He was always legit. Here comes the money. If you hear that, you pop. Mm-hmm. I pop. I love Shane.
Oh, definitely, and I love money. So.
Yeah, well, there you go. So, if you were giving close attention, they set up this for next Monday. Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be good. And like you said, maybe they introduce a championship or something in here, and I will actually like it even more.
I don't care what anybody says, whether I'm tooting my own horn. Somebody has to toot it, so I'll do it. They got to do what I said. Have R-Truth, stumble in there because he's R-Truth. He's like, oh, what's going on here? Braun Strowman literally rips him in half. And is like, this 24/7 title's bullshit. He steps on it, and you just obviously do a camera switch. You sell it because he's a monster. The title's broke. You make it like the Hardcore Championship, but you call it the Raw Underground Championship.
Yeah, there you go. And you make it something out of finally legit. So that would be really nice. But they have this stare down with Ganoush and or Kato with Braun Strowman, and we get to see the next segment is Keith Lee and McIntyre. They actually start fighting. Because they're like, hey, remember the last time? I was like, I don't appreciate when you interfere in my matches. Because the one time that I beat Randy Orton clean, it was a payback. You weren't even there. So he's like, hey, don't touch me. And they start fighting, Jean-Paul. I really like this.
Yeah,
and breaking, their friendship, so to say. I really like this.
I like this. Now, of course, it's why do they got to beat each other down before the match? But, the match, it was good, but it, didn't really have an ending, which we'll get to. But I like this because it's I only came in and saved you after Randy Orton hit the RKO. And he's like, what? He's like, you don't think I would have kicked out of the RKO? What do you think? I'm fucking bullshit? I'm the limitless one. I'm Lucius. Who do you think I am?
Yeah.
And, and they started to fight. And I love it because, like I said, Keith Lee's got to turn heel. You got to do something legit with him. And I think if you turn him heel and you really want to push this guy and you want to do the swerve and, really pop people, the match of Clash of Champions, somehow make it a triple threat. And my first thing I said, they're going to make it a triple threat so Lucius eats the pin. Now you got to flip it and have him go over.
Oh, yeah.
Have him go over as a heel. That would be the craziest thing.
And he would be WWE champion right away.
Yeah,
that would be so crazy also.
And then I know, then you can have Drew Chase. I know people said, there was the reports of Edge, Randy Orton, all that feud for the WWE Championship. But to me, that's such a, what did Zelina say? Stop pushing the people of yesteryear. Let's push the new stars. So I'm with that.
No, yeah, let's get the new stars over. Yeah, that's what I mean. Let's just get them, and yeah, I really like this. So we'll see what they do with this. I'm really excited for what it could become. So
Mm.
we'll see what they do with that. So now Jean Paul part of Kevin Owens going against Aleister Black. This was a good match. This was good. Of course, both of them good wrestlers. They know how to like give us a good showing. I really like the super kick towards the end. That was really good because it was out of nowhere, and Aleister Black pretty much done. Like you said, I really like that he fights with the bandana on it. That will give him like a more edge for me. But
Mm.
see, overall it was pretty good. But like also like Retribution kind of like was messing it up, and that opened up like a thing for like Kevin Owens to deliver the stunner and done, and he gets the win, Jean Paul. So
Yeah,
very
and
quick,
and
tell
this
me, like, did you like this?
this I mean, I wish this feud had more like legitness to it in the sense that I wish it was for something. I wish it was like, oh, okay, you're going to be the number one contender for Bobby Lashley or something. Because, Kevin Owens and Lashley have a little bit of history. And it's like, Aleister Black and Lashley, that could be a cool matchup. Like, let's see something here. But, they just have a match for nothing. Now, Retribution coming out. Obviously, this feud's going to continue because it'll be, oh, that was a bullshit finish. But I like how Kevin Owens was selling the knee and everything. So I mean, it was a good match.
Oh yeah.
But I want to see more, and I want to see it for something.
Yes, Jean Paul. So like things that you don't see for anything is just like this too. The women's tag team champions, and they were just on commentary. I really like how Nia Jax goes like, Byron Saxon, you keep staring at me for more than 2 minutes. I'm gonna call the police or something. I'm like, what? Like she really thinks that people actually stare at her. Kind of. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's the the modern like, oh, don't look at me, but if I like you, you can look at me, but anybody
Yeah.
else, I'm gonna call the police. So it's
Yes,
like,
yes.
okay,
So I
legit.
kind of like this, and I mean Shayna Baszler is cool. I mean
Hmm.
the pair of is to me it works because it's like odd, and they just have gold because they just want to have gold. They don't have anything like, and they're not
And
friends.
they surprisingly, I will say, I think like they probably do get along, and that's why they're like odd couple gels together. Because it's not awkward. You've seen when they do these odd pairings before, and it's just awkward and it doesn't work. But these two, like, it's funny in a
Oh
way,
yeah,
like you
yeah.
said.
And see, we have those two that do get along, and they had a promo and actually had a match against Natalia and Lana. So like I'm like you said before, is like the fact that like they moving these two girls to like the Riot Squad against this Natalia and Lana, because these two are not believable in the Raw Women's Championship match. Meaning like Natalia being the contender and Lana being the manager. So I really much rather like how like they had this like tag team match, and Nia Jax puts Lana through the table, like that. So that
Yeah,
was
like
good.
I mean, this match was really quick, and
Really
and
quick,
and,
and
and
Riot
that was
Squad beat him.
good.
Riot
Yeah,
Squad beat him
yeah,
right now.
exactly, and that was good because it gets a little bit of momentum for the challengers going into the pay per view. And I loved after this thing, Nia Jax was like, okay, you guys had an impressive win. You want to see something impressive? I'm gonna drop this bit through the announce table. But I love how the Riot Squad was like, oh shit, like
Mhm.
she just killed her, and like Lana, I'll applaud her, being a champ for taking that and selling it, okay.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, it was good and it was
Oh,
quick. At least I'm like, if this match goes, longer than like 4 minutes, I'm done. I think it was under that, so I was like,
it
okay,
was good, and
that's
like you
legit.
said, yeah, that's what we need. It's official. They're gonna have a match at Clash of Champions. Will Rover will be, of course, covering and talking about all of this. So Jean Paul, there you go, right there. Like they keep going at it, and for some people are criticizing Kid Lee, Jean Paul, because he looked like Mark Henry with sexual chocolate. He looks like sexual chocolate. So like they're like, really, why is he looking like this? But I don't really mind it too much. I mean,
Hey, I
whatever.
mean,
What are you gonna do with
when you look at it, I feel like the shirt is getting smaller and smaller. I think one week we'll just not see it, so then
We'll
we'll
see
all
the
get
boobs
what we
again.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see the boobs right there. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we'll see the boobs. But
It,
like,
it looks like he's touching it. I think
he is. Yeah, he is. Like, it's
that's
covered with
legit.
boobs.
I wish I was Adam Pierce.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So like Kid Lee, right there, Jean Paul gave us like a confession right there. That's
Yeah.
legit. For the ones that like,
I just want to touch the limitless one. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
yeah, no, there's not no because he's limited. It's fine. So
Yeah.
like you said, guys, if you keep doing this, no match at Clash of Champions, everything gets canceled. And now that would have been McIntyre would have been like, okay, cool. I don't have to defend my title.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
You know,
night
but
off.
like
Okay.
that's what we got. So then the main event finally, Jean Paul, like you said, this match was actually not bad because like the intensity that they gave us before the match, prior to it, it was good. So I was actually loving it. This
Hmm.
thing was good. Drew dominated a little bit. Keith Lee showing, of course, like his like strength, his power, and it was good. I was really liking this. I don't know why. they didn't go with like a true winner. I mean, but look at this. It's like,
well, I think they didn't, and I'm happy they didn't, because you didn't want it to be where it's like, oh, Keith Lee's definitely going to be in the match, because then you get a lot of people going, oh, he's going to win the title, oh, blah, 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 like, everybody would be going crazy. I think they're just prolonging this. I still think it's going to be a triple threat at Clash of Champions, and if it is, to me, it's going on Keith Lee. Yeah. I mean, or Randy Orton. I don't think if it is a triple threat, I don't see Drew walking out of there, unfortunately. But I like the ending here with Retribution, actually, because of everything I just said, and also because when the Hurt Business came out, they came, their music, and I do like their music. I like how they have a music for them. They don't just come out to like MVP's music or whatever. They came out all in the suits. Cedric had a suit on now. They must have special ordered him one, at the first hour of Raw.
Right. I like this. The only thing, and hear me out. Just let me say this for 2 seconds. The only thing is, like, why not commentaries right there talking? You know what I mean? Why is everything quiet?
Oh, well, speaking of that, MVP was on commentary and Retribution attacks. He must have ran to the back.
Yeah, and then come outside again. Yeah. But kudos to MVP for doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's still, but like, I really like this. Like you said, they come out, like, look like badasses. They look like 4 badass dudes, and like they go up. But like the only thing is, like, why not commentary sells this thing? You know what I mean?
I think it was that commentary didn't say anything because they didn't show it. But I think they play up the angle where, do you remember when Corey Graves and Michael Cole were like, we're out of here, and they ran away? Yeah. I think that's what it is. I think they just run away. So there's technically nobody there.
So, like, that's what it was. They had the clash. Like, they clashed with everybody right there also, like, and they had a really nice spot. Of course, they got to do this because finally Keith Lee and McIntyre are back on their feet. And then they're like, hey, what are we going to do? And they stare at each other. And then they're like, But
the one thing I will say now there, you kind of have guys looking up and they're like, okay, they're paying attention to catch them. But the way that they do the camera angles, the last that we've seen of the big scrum that they dove into, they were fighting each other and really nobody was looking at the ring. Oh, and then in other but then in other companies they would have been standing there looking at the ring like a deer in the headlights, waiting for the guy to dive on.
Well, like the one thing, like you said, when Retribution attacks, they do different kind of angles now. I don't know if you noticed that. Like they do also like a different type of camera because the camera.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So they do like different types of like angles and different kind of shots where they film this thing. So it's good. I really like this. And then in the end, this is what we got for Monday Night Raw. The only thing is like. Michael Cole said in the before, like, this thing is happening. He's like, oh, here come the ninjas. I mean Retribution. Really, Michael. I don't know if that was fed by Vince McMahon or like that was him.
No, I feel like he probably slipped. Michael Cole, he's working too many shows. I think he needs to just retire.
Yeah, I mean, like get a break, and
the one line I popped for, they mentioned something from 20 years ago, and Ziggler's like, yeah, Michael Cole, that's when you had your frosted tips in his hair. I popped for that. I was like, that's legit.
Yeah, well, Ziggler, like you said, I mean, throughout the whole like broadcast, I was like kind of like selling it more and more. I mean, like it just sounded at the beginning, it sounded like Renee Young, kind of like just getting lines into it. But I mean, throughout it was a little better. But yeah, it was good. And see, this is what we got for the ending of Monday Night Raw. This, like you said, Retribution again. But see, Retribution done. If you're like a little smarter, right? If they don't cut off into this, hey, pull like the mask, and then you'll see who they are.
Oh yeah, I mean it was even this, which I didn't hate, it's still like it wasn't done the way I would have done it, and I feel a lot of people would have done it. You could have did it that Retribution looked over a little more, and it would have been, I don't know, you could have done it better. Just it was disappointing. Yeah, like we said in the beginning, the whole show just disappointing.
Yeah, you can easily dominate it, but it's just like so. Jean Paul, this is Monday Night Raw for September 14th, 2020. So, thank you so very much, family, for watching the video. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the comments that we get. So we have more content coming for you guys. Mm-hmm. We're going to have Dynamite. We're going to have, of course, NXT. We're going to have Smackdown. And we have also, like always, special for the weekend. So, jump on, remind everybody where they can find us on the social media world, please.
Where you can find us on Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, the original Rope Break on Instagram, and, of course, for the best podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the original Rope Break right here on YouTube.
That's right, Jean Paul. So you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...